Okay, so it is the same day. It's so freaking smoky out. And then I have the door open because Stella keeps going outside. I think she's super uncomfortable. And then this morning, or sometime today, earlier in the day, what is it? It's like almost 3. And so, I don't know, several hours ago, she was going outside and I was rubbing her chest. I'll give her these little massages when she goes to the door sometimes if she's real limpy, because I know she's stiff and I know what it's like when you get up and you're stiff and stuff, and she doesn't know. She doesn't understand. So I'll go over and do these little rubs, and I found one of her cysts had ruptured. So I soaked it with some Epsom salt and put aloe vera and castor oil. I've been using the castor oil. It does something to skin stuff. I look up about it. It really does some amazing stuff. And she's been getting all of these cysts all over her body, and I keep putting castor oil on them. And another thing too, because these dogs are prone to getting them. There's a lot of dogs that are prone to getting them. I'm sure it's the toxins and shit. It's like giant zits in their system. And they charge like a couple $1,000s to go in and do surgery and then cut out a big chunk of them and take it out in order to take them out and then biopsy it and all this stuff. Hold on. So anyways, now she has that one that's ruptured, and my stomach feels way, way better. It's not bothering me at all. And see, that's another thing that people really need to notice is this sudden onset of stuff. But that is why they've got, well, they do have a lot of people having heart attacks. But they have a lot of people thinking they are because they're on hyper awareness because there's so many people having them. Then they turn up the stuff and give you all of the symptoms. Like arm pain, all sorts of stuff. And when you look in the CIA documents, it says they can go in and tell us stuff in our head and stuff. And it really messes with my head because I was sitting there I was making homemade tortilla chips. They're really so good. I was standing right over them, to make sure none of them got too dark. And man, they turned out good. I was eating a bunch of them. So but when my daughter gets here, I want her to have a snack because she'll get here later. So, anyways, what was I talking about? Oh God, I swear, as soon as I say something about something else, I lose my train of thought. Was I talking still about the cysts? Oh, maybe my stomach, but paying attention to the symptoms because the sudden onset, like people rush to a hospital or a doctor too fast. Like back in the day, people would, I swear to God, I think that I had this patient when I was at very first. I was still a nurse tech. I wasn't an RN yet. And I worked on the oncology floor in a hospital. It was just the leading cancer, like the top cancer doctor did his patients out of this one. And this woman came in and she was young, but she was a country folk. And she just said she never went and got treatment or got seen or anything like that. And it ate, like when she finally came in, the cancer had actually eaten her breast off. Like physically her breast had removed itself by eating itself with the disease that was in there. Like when you got to pay attention to your symptoms, you don't let them go too far. That's why you got to start noticing what they are and then pay attention. Are they getting worse or better? Try different things and work with the symptoms, but you don't want to mask the symptoms because I think a lot of people, they take like these, dry up all your mucus or cough suppressant or what's another one that when you're puking and having diarrhea. Diarrhea is one. When somebody's having diarrhea and they take all that stuff, see, I think you're trapping something in there that your body's telling you it needs to get out. Same with puking, all of these things that our body is doing in some sort of reaction, and then we're trying to stop it. Like, it's inconvenient. Don't bother me with this right now. It's like your body's telling you something's going on. And so you got to read the symptoms. And then, but like I said, you don't want to just mask some of them. You got to let some of them go. So you got to see, like, is this going to get worse or better? Is this temporary? Is it going to last? And it's just hard because it is so much movement by them, because I can't believe how I kept thinking I was being so on top of it, but there's so many things you don't have control over. And you know what's weird too is that normally it would be raining all the time here, and there's no rain, the ground's dry. And I don't know if I already had said this, but I saw I don't know if it was the same girl or a different girl, but this girl was another one of those girls that was in a panic because she had a prophetic dream that America is going to split in half. Like, there's going to be some sort of huge earthquake, and it's going to just rumble and split in half. And she went on the globe and she showed where it was going to split, and it was a long ways. It wasn't just here. And that could be that they're trying to do something big, and something big is to come. Like, that is part of what is going to happen. So that's why I'm always expecting something big's going to happen. It's like it's already written. Like, you just have to have awareness, but you also can't, feed the fear. You have to stay centered. You have to really go inward inside of you and figure out how to calm yourself down and become rational and not be scared, which so many people are scared, but they've been trained to be scared. That's why they created this concept of death. They know that that's not real. They know a lot of stuff that they push that is just to confuse people and make them feel, hopeless, helpless, whatever. So I was trying to think of some of the stuff, because some of the stuff I was seeing, I was like, I should say so. Like, there's one thing that is just going around nonstop. I swear to God, every single time I go on to anything, I swear, like 5 or 6 videos of Joe, or he can't talk, he's walking, he's bumping into walls, he has no direction, he's just lost, and talking crazy and walking off stages and all sorts of stuff. People are putting compilations together, like it's just a whole thing. And that also shows me that how much it's building, because it is building. What a fool. His buffoonery is building up. And and that is all part of showing him as being an example of, he's like laughable. But because I know when the truth starts coming out, is going to be shocking to people. And especially when you got to think about the people who have really truly in their heart support him. People who really truly in their heart still have TDS. Like, I still haven't. I had somebody in my comments, a couple of people, and it gets to the point where I was like, are you even real? I even said this to somebody earlier. I said, I don't know if you're real or not, because like, it starts to really become like, really? Like, really? Oh, it is bizarre. But some people are so locked in. They don't see it. They don't process it. But there's still going to be an associated humiliation. Part of the ego work is this humbling experience. It is this equalizer. So you do see yourself as the equal. You're not better or worse. We're all just people with both inside of us. Like, it really starts moving you in such a different way of understanding people. And, so many people I see talking about that, but the extreme influx of Joe buffoonery. He is, that really shows me that this stuff is building. But it's bizarre still where I see people talking about like he's actually at the White House and stuff like that. Like, no. And even when people like in DC, if you find people who are on the ground doing footage, like it's kind of like the city is cleared out. Like the traffic is different. Everything is just different. So whatever is going on there is, especially because it's District of Columbia. It's not even a part of America, its own separate entity. And I had heard, and that was like back at the end of 2020 and definitely in 2021, that was being gated off, separated from America, and it was going to be like a prison, kind of like an extension to Gitmo. Like they were going to make some of those buildings into facility holding places. But so many of the people, because that was in Trump's EOs, and everybody's always talking about Joe's EOs right now, and I'm always like, man, but Trump's, like, I mean, all of the stuff that he put in, you can see it playing out. And it's so crazy too. Earlier, I heard somebody saying something, like somehow like we're really hurting Putin's economy or something like that. I was like, dude, I mean, I didn't say anything to the person, but this is just where I'm always like, man, people just don't see shit. It's so crazy. But they already went on the gold standard. They already pulled out of the money. They already said, y'all can't buy stuff from us unless you use gold. They already set their standard, which is going to be a global standard. But to think that it has any effect on them whatsoever, any of this, hullabaloo that Joe keeps pretending like he's doing something, isn't doing anything. It's all part of the show. But when everybody's not playing along, it's just total absurdity. And you know that I just heard somebody talking about Zelensky, and there's footage of him like in high heels and leather pants dancing around online or something. It's like, I don't get where people, and people putting it together too about, Michael and Barry and them being the first clone family and paying the $500,000 or $500 million, who knows what they would pay to cover. I still think their kids look like their doctor and assistant's kids, or whoever those two people are that hang out with them. But, I don't know. Maybe they just clone. I don't know what the hell they do. All of these people and all of their madness and the weirdness that goes on. But it's just, it trips me out. Like, there's still so many people who just don't see any of this stuff. Like, and people still thinking that some of this stuff is like conspiracy theory. It's like, this is not conspiracy theories. We're not talking about theories. This is actual stuff that is going on around you, right under your nose. And that is, I swear, when people wake up, because I know I went through that, when you wake up. That's why I went in and apologized to Trump, right, in the very beginning, because you have like regret of being so stupid, of not paying attention and not being aware of what was going on around you and being so tricked. And, when I figured it out a few years back, and it was a lot less absurd. So now all of those people, that's what I'm saying, there's going to be such associated humiliation, but it isn't going to be just them, because there's all sorts of stuff like the Christians who are waiting for Jesus to come. Unless they're raptured here coming up pretty soon, then that story is going to fall apart, and the truth will have to be shown that there was a lot of manipulation that they did in that book to control people, and it's going to have to be acknowledged by a lot of people who really are holding on tight, really wanting the Savior to bust open the sky and come down and show himself and say. But it's all about Christ consciousness. It's all of us turning in a certain direction. That is the return of Christ consciousness to the planet. And so it is all of us having to come together and see they have to wake up and quit waiting for a savior so they become their own savior. So we do bring Christ consciousness back to the planet. And then, and see, and it's all, that's the resurrection. And see where my mom is talking about the tribulation and it being 7 years of all this just like horribleness. And, you know, to me, it will be like, there's gonna be a lot of trauma in the beginning and a lot of madness and anger, but then there's gonna be a lot of hurt and sadness and depression, and you know, and all of their stuff is going to be coming up because the universe is provoking. It's like making stuff come up for people. Like everything is happening to get people to face their problems, their fears, their sadness, their guilt, all of that stuff. So the universe is facilitating this like purging out all of this trapped energy that a lot of people have carried from life after life after life. And so it is a huge release for the whole mankind, because you got to always be thinking about that micro, macro, and the generational learning that goes on, and because people get too caught up and they've been taught to just go into these like labels and get all the way down to, you know, the microchism or microchasm or whatever the word is of each person, so that you end up becoming so tiny. And that is why people have to claim themselves, but you have to be bold to claim yourself. You have to, you know, have confidence in who you are and believe in who you are. And there's so many people out there who think that they do, and you know, they're online. So many, God, now my nose is running. See, he's quick coming in. And Stella just came in, and see, stuff gets on her while she's out there. And then I have an allergic reaction. Well, it's called allergies, but it's, you know, your toxin. I need to just wash her off and stuff. But your body reacts to toxins. It could be, you know, open the door and the whatever's in the air. It's so dense right now. It's so smoky. It's been smoky for weeks. It's like, can they not get any fires put out? Like, what is going on? They just start another one and start another one, or are they just puffing smoke at us at this point? That's what it feels like, especially when people are getting footage of the moon just disappearing, and you know, all of this stuff, everything that it keeps showing, all of the nonsense, it just keeps being shown. And I know today, you know, like where there is this, all of these tractors and whatever, all these big old bulldozers and shit out there making all this noise and everything. You know, it's so loud, and I don't know what they were doing today. It was like explosion after explosion and these pounding, and it was so extreme. You know, I was just like, man, how extreme does it have to get before all of the neighbors start saying, hey, we need to do a petition. We need to have limitations on how much that they can come in each week and disrupt us with their noise. There's got to be noise ordinances to protect us, but we need to work as a group. That's how community works. And so how can you be involved in a community that is so passive? It's weird too, because there is like a passive aggressiveness, because it's passive, but then aggressive to everybody else because they're always mad and angry, just like the guy across the street. Like the smallest little thing, he's going to come out and freak out if a dog gets in his yard. But boy, just sit in my backyard and blast me all day with noise. Oh, that's cool. Like nobody is understanding their empowerment, and that is part of the awakening, as part of the having to see clearly, and then plus year of building community. But that's why I was saying, like, I just feel like I've just outgrown the community. They're happy to just be stagnant. And, you know, I know that there is some people probably, but since I was kicked off of all of those, you know, the neighborhood social media, and you don't know, you can't connect with people or know what's going on around here unless there's not even like a bar that people go up to and hang out. I mean, it's smaller than that. There's not, well, there's a whole bunch of churches, and there's hell no when I'm going to start going to some church and hanging out. I've already been, when I first moved over here, there's always those people are the nicest people, you know, they'll come up and talk to you because they always wanted, well, not every single one of them. I mean, there's a lot of judgmental ones, but the ones that come up and talk to you, especially if you've got tattoos and stuff, you know, they're always wanting to show brotherly love, you know, especially if they think, oh, this ex-prostitute, drug addict, we better get her back into the church. You know, I don't know. They could totally think, oh, I bet she's an artist, but I don't know. It's not the first thing that people think. So, anyways, there was, I'm trying to think of all the different things. The Julia, I don't know if I already had said that. The Julia already hit that one island. I don't remember which place it was, somewhere in South America that I saw the footage. And it was kind of creepy, the footage, because it looked like a lot of little kids, but it could have been grown men. But they were all sitting up above, like if you put like if a tree fell over a river, and they're all like sitting up on that, and the water's just rushing under them with the floodwaters. And so I don't know if they were trapped there, if they actually went and sat and wanted to sit above it, because it looked like if you fell in, you're dead. No way. And so I don't know when that Julia is expected, but it's so weird when I see people on the Florida ones just sharing, like, you know, what they're doing for cleanup and stuff. It's like, well, shouldn't you all be getting ready for the next one? Like, isn't that one supposed to be worse? Like the one guy who I saw talking about it, who was in Florida, he said he was leaving. He was watching it, and he was leaving because of what they were saying was going to be so bad. So I don't know. I feel like no matter, and it's supposed to be the same time this, and I thought it was this week, but now it's supposed to be next week. This freeze storm that's coming in from the north, and it's going to come down and freeze all of America. So all these homeless people, as I said, they're going to fucking, I would just dread being, and see, and I'm way out rural, and which is also makes it even weirder, where people will be like, well, you need to go out and ground yourself and go in nature. It's like, dude, I live in nature. These fucking greedy motherfuckers follow you out here. They got to keep going. They can't let us just move and be out somewhere right away from them. And then the people who are out in the area start thinking it's going to help them out. Oh, it's to make my house worth more. And then it's like, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. So, and if your house goes up, it's temporary. But look at, like, my house, when I moved into this house, which was a year before quarantine, and I bought this house, it was $150, and it was a tiny little cabin, and it had a storage thing out back, and then it had an outdoor kitchen gazebo thing, and that was it. Everything else was overgrown, just a big mess. So nobody had taken care of it, and nobody had ever even lived in it as a home. And the owner who had it in the last year, he had only even come like 3 weekends of the whole time he owned it. And then the family before them, I think they came when they went on vacation. So they weren't, you know, like every weekend we're going to go to everybody's been Canadian, so it's more of a vacation place. So it was not taken care of at all. And I got it for $150. And then the house next to me, it was really dilapidated. I guess it has sold for $110. And that's the one that the one neighbors are spending all this money and stuff fixing up. And I keep being like, man, every time they do something, like something happens. Like that's been the pattern so far. So we'll see like how this is going to play out. I don't know. But then as soon as because I was, like, I think the next year after I bought it, so I think it was like a year and a half after I bought it, then they started building those houses over there, you know, and they put in a couple, and then a couple more, and then all of a sudden it was just like, and that's when we got that thing in the mail saying, well, are you okay with it? We're going to put in 300 houses. We just want some feedback. I did a whole fucking video and sent it. Like, fuck no. Oh, fucking 300 houses. What the hell? Is outrageous. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. Like, people think, oh, your vote matters. No, they do not give a fuck. What matters to them is money. And whatever these developers and their deals that they do, it's all this just like unethical corruption of money laundering and shifting and moving us and directing us and hurting us, and it's just all very aggravating. And what was I gonna say? So I still feel super scattered, but I'll tell you that when they will, I think it's around 5 o'clock, it will turn up so loud, and my jaw will start hurting. And so today I put out this hypothesis, and I asked other people to say, all the people who are having the high frequency in their ears, I said, let me know if you have metal in your mouth, because I have root canals, and I bet I still have some mercury fillings, and I've had some fillings removed, and it's so fucking painful. But I'm waiting for the med bed. I'm not going in and having. You'd have to have these root canals. Get up there if you want up there. If getting root canals taken out, oh my gosh, I don't even know. There's some whole thing. Oh my gosh, Stella. Get up there if you want. Every time. She wants me to move something so she can go up to the couch, but she won't get on the couch anymore. She's been on the couch one time in months. She used to just lay on the couch. That was where she laid. And ever since she had whatever's happened or she got dizzy, she stopped. And started just crying about everything. But she started that when Winston got sick. So anyways, the mercury and all of that stuff, because they did stuff like in their CIA files and stuff that says right in, or in their agenda papers, I don't even know all the different stuff like that I've seen at this point, but it said that they would put stuff into our teeth, into our fillings and stuff like that. It says they were going to do that. And then with this frequency, and then it starts hurting your jaw. I even started thinking, I bet you TMJ and stuff is something to do with fillings or drilling or something, and then the frequency. Because literally we're not even supposed to have them cut into our bodies at all, which is part of the absurdity to me. Like, and then they just want to start cutting into animals and just digging out cysts and stuff like that. I swear to God, it's just to charge a lot of money. And then, you need antibiotics, you need the money to knock the dog out, or the medicine to knock them out. So all of this stuff is always just to do their money. And it's so crazy how they just money launder around, which, earlier I had said that I went in and I put in that routing number, and this one girl, she's really into it. Like, she's like, you got to keep me updated. She keeps asking me questions, and I keep checking my email, and still all I've gotten is a confirmation that it was paid. But I keep feeling like, oh man, is the Fed's gonna pull up here again? I'll just hide in the back. I swear, I'm not going to go fucking be arrested and have them shooting Stella or something. I'll just hide out. I swear, I'll just go on the run. And I'll go out with the big freeze when they take everybody else out. They're going to kill a whole shit ton of people when that happens. I mean, Texas was just like the warm up when they did that. And then all those people died. They're going to start out with a bang. So they're going to have some hurricane and then a freeze and no telling. But it's just so crazy how there's still people who, just like you start saying, be prepared. And they're like, oh, you're spreading fear. Spreading fear? Like, fucking have some awareness. Like, Jesus Christ. And the storms, the fires, the tornadoes, the hurricanes, the tsunamis, the earthquakes, the volcanoes, they all just come out of nowhere. There's another one, is it Chile or something maybe? I can't think of where it was, but a volcano that just went, but it was at the ocean, because that's what they really want to do, something with they really want to do something with the water, and they're so focused on doing it that something is going to happen. Like I said, it's already written. Something big is going to happen. It happens in every reset. It's just this one, for the people who are aware and taking care of themselves, can write it out. We can get to the end. The people who are asleep, that, they're going to get a big old opportunity to wake up. They're going to get a big old opportunity to heal. But if people who stay locked in and continue that shallow, kind of just primitive, barbaric, manipulative, like, all of those kinds of behaviors won't be ascending into the future. So into the new age, that whole new, because they would mess it up. It would be the same bullshit. You have to do healing in order to go there, in order to, because it's the creation of it is the people who are healed. But the people who just continue to stay locked in, refusing to heal, blaming everybody, being a victim, being shallow, valuing money or over people, all of those kinds of energies that we're purging out if people stay, grasping onto it, because it's just weird when you hear some people talk, like, how shallow. What was this? This girl was talking about, she was watching Beverly Hills Housewives or something like that, and she said that one of the ladies came out, and I don't know what she was talking about. She was calling them something, maybe Lolos or something, maybe Cholos or something. I don't know. I mean, I kind of thought she was talking about shoes, but I wasn't sure, and so I don't know how the tag was seen, if she got them out of her closet and the tag was on the box or whatever. You'd think that would be more hidden, but when they want to show this stuff, because they always want us to just, I want that, oh, and then do whatever it takes to get it. But the shoe, I'm assuming there were shoes, were $60,000, and so this girl was like, oh my God, do you know what many things $60,000 could be spent on? You could be spending on so many things, but that is, and it was in that book, whatever it was, the Anunnaki Return or whatever. And it said that people that were like that valued things and Gucci and stuff like that over human life, that they wouldn't be ascending. They'd have to stay back and learn more about why you need to value life in general. How can you, if you don't value yourself, you don't value your own life, you don't value your own time, you don't value your family, you don't value strangers, like, you've got a lot of stuff still you got to go and learn. How are you going to be living harmonious with the planet if you don't value all life forms, if you don't have respect for all states of being? So that is part of the development that you learn in this, like, 3D, this Earth Education Center, which there's other ones, but what it seems to be the word on the streets is this is the hardest one. But see, Earth is going to be elevating, so another one will have to take its place. There'll be another place that will be a hard place to go to and go through really rough experiences. And they could go back and start redoing, like, Cowboys and Indians and stuff. Like, there are going to be souls that were like, well, I wanted to play that one out. I wanted to go back and do that. And so, go back and see and learn lessons and stuff like that. So there'll be other places where people will go, but you can't ascend. You can't elevate yourself. You can't make yourself do it. It has to happen naturally. It has to be part of your learning as a soul. It's part of your development. It's not something you can force. You can't force lessons, just like it keeps coming to me all the time, because there's certain events or certain things, and it's like, oh my God, come on. But I have been shown over and over and over, you cannot control time like that. Everything has its time and place, and you don't have any control over it. There's nothing you can do to change it. There's no thing that you can push and make something happen faster. Well, if I just did this, if I learn this, if I do that, then I will make it happen faster. It doesn't happen that way. It all has its own timing, and it has to happen the way it happens, and it's all threaded through everyone's life, how everyone's stuff, like the domino effect of life. I think maybe that's where they get the butterfly effect, because everything affects everything else. But that is what everything has to. That's why there is no changing destiny. It's like this would be kind of like, so it's kind of like if you go to the symphony, you go to hear Beethoven, and they start to play it. They can't all of a sudden change it into Mozart or Bach or something. They can't just change it in the middle and still call it Beethoven. And that is like what we're in. We're in a symphony. And when you think of the symphony, because the tune that is played, that is the melody, but we are in the physical part of the tune. So it is the symphony, the sonata that is playing out the ride of this experience, and it is playing out, but it can't change. It can't all of a sudden become a different one and still be the same one. That's why I was saying, to me, about the jumping timelines and stuff, I don't know that you actually leave them. I just know that on my part, I went through a part where I was in one stage, and then I switched into another stage, like it switched into another level, and they told me or showed me how, you learned those lessons and you go into another level. You go through that, and that is what all these people are going into, is going into this other level to learn. But it's hard, and not everybody can master it. Not everybody can do it. It's very difficult. It's so difficult to face yourself. And there's just anybody who says that it's easy hasn't done it yet, because it is very, very difficult. It is, your shadow self is the side of yourself that you think doesn't exist, that everybody else sees. And that is what is going to be shown. It is not going to just be seen by other people. It's going to be seen by each person for themselves. They're going to see themselves more clearly. I feel that is what is going to go down. I think somehow, and I keep seeing it happen with people, these things happening but you have to be open to it. And so many people, as soon as something makes them feel bad, if there's nobody to blame, like I'm a few people still like blame person, that they can blame. It's kind of like the role for a mom until their child heals, is it's all your fault. I'm messed up. It's your fault. I would be a better person if you would have been a better person. It's kind of like a stage of development that people have to go through to get through their healing, but it's a very dominant kind of relationship that holds on to a lot of pain and trauma. So a lot of people hold on to that. And so right now, I'm definitely a couple of people's scapegoat, is to, well, I would be fine. I would be a great person if it wasn't for this chick who raised me. So anyways, that is just part of the process. And that's why I can't hold on to that kind of stuff before I was healed. It was really hard on me. And so that it was part of my process of going through my healing. See, now they're turning it up. I can hear it. It's like, it's so freaking loud, and it's so stabby when they first do it. It's like something completely just assault your ears or something. And then I'll start getting the pinpricks and stuff. And I know that it is whatever they're doing, they're trying to make people sick. And I'm not playing the game. I'm not running into the hospital for anything. I don't think I'm going to die from this. But Jesus Christ, they better stop making my hair fall out. It's really irritating me. But, there is going to be mass death. That one lady is dealing with 3 people in her family dying in one damn week. Like, that is going to be a lot of people. And, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be one. Like, people are going to sleep and not waking up. And so I think most people are going to have had some loss when they go into this situation. But no matter what, each soul chose its own floor plan, you know, its own building mechanism to heal themselves. So that every single one that is already set in stone is just like the symphony. You know, it's their symphony, it's their sonata, it's their tune. And that is the one, and it has ups and downs and everything. But it's like the tune of you. And so you know, it just really stood out to me a while back where I was like, you know, if your life was a symphony, you would want it to be dramatic. You would want it to have ups and downs and stuff. You wouldn't want to just sit and listen to something drab that nothing exciting happened. And you know, I mean, I think most people want to have experiences. It's just when you are met with things that are hard, it just is mentally and spiritually exhausting. You know, it's super defeating. It's like on another level that until someone experiences it, they don't understand what you're talking about. Once you go through it and you see like it is an accomplishment to be able to go through that, especially because those of us who have done it, we've had to do it, a lot of us, on our own. There wasn't somebody there helping. Even when my daughter was telling me, this was a while ago, this is when I think I was still in the part where I was in my dark night, where I was super, super depressed, and my dog, that was like, everything was just horrible. And she wanted me to go to see a counselor, and then my insurance was very limited. Any insurances are limited on counselors anyways, and they don't pay very well or anything. But anyways, so I found this one, and I went to go see him, and he started hitting on me. He started coming in and sitting. When you're talking about somebody, when you are a counselor and you have somebody in there, and all he wanted to do is talk about sexual abuse from when I was a kid. I was like, dude, I don't need to talk about that shit. And I'm sure the hell not going to talk about some weirdo guy who wants to keep sitting next to me and talk about my childhood sexual abuse. Like, okay, freakazoid, no thanks. Like, no, I'm good. And every time I went and saw him a couple times, and then he hit on me. I don't remember what he did. If he tried to I don't remember what it was now. I called my daughter, and she wanted to report it, and then she reported it to another counselor, and then that counselor said that there was a bunch of people who had turned in on him. So those are people out there trying to help people, like counselors that are out there. Like, and then people are going and trusting, like, help me with my problems. Like, these people have got their own problems. That is one of the biggest things I think that is going to be what people have to really see, is they have to listen to their own insights and stuff. It's so weird too with these people who they're so because apparently they don't have insights or gut instincts and stuff, and so they think I don't understand really how they think. Like, they just think, like, all of a sudden millions of people just thought, oh, I wonder if the government is perving on kids and selling them, and if they're selling body part, like all of this stuff that is really there, but they think like somehow we just made it up somehow, and we're just all saying it, and none of it's true, and we've never seen any evidence, but somehow we all thought of it at the same time. It's like, how does that make sense? But there's people who just is like, well, there must be something out there, or how would all these people be thinking it? How would all these people keep saying, look it up, look at the evidence, go do some research? Like, if there's nothing to see, but there's still all these people just thinking that we're making this stuff up. It's so weird. But then you hear some news thing, and it's like, oh, these cute conspiracy theorists and these MAGA crazy nuts, and they just keep talking about the government doing this and that. It's like, oh my gosh. I just saw a news reporter a while ago who was reporting in the Ukraine or something, and she was saying about she just started telling everything. Like these two reporters were talking to her, and to me, it kept seeming like they seemed real uncomfortable. Like, how do we get her to shut up? How do we get her to shut up? Because she was like spilling it, man. And she talked for like a couple minutes, and she didn't get cut off or anything. And then right at the end of the video, the guy said, "Oh, wait a minute, I gotta cut you off here because right here we have a live feed." And they are all saying, "Boy, she's bringing it. Boy, she's spilling the tea. Boy, she's telling it out like it is and stuff." So I don't know. That is going to be, a significant role for all of the different reporters, and that Australian Prime Minister. Like, I don't know if there really is, this is the October, because definitely last October everybody wasn't arrested. So is this the one? I don't know. But it is all these people, they're going to have to pick their side. They're going to have to start, taking a chance and telling some stuff, especially when there's this much energy. Like, I would think you have a lot more protection. If you're going to be a whistleblower of any kind, you got, tons of people who want to be on your side, lots of people see the truth and know what's going on. And they're hungry for more information. They're hungry for more truth. People are so, like the flat earth thing. It's just people just spinning out. And then once they cross over, then it's like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe I ever believed that nonsense. And that's what the whole awakening is like. You just keep going through that. But these people who have been fighting it, saying that everybody's crazy and stuff, they're going to have the biggest stuff to get over, the hardest things to overcome. Because when ego does not like to feel stupid, and it's going to be a big blow. So it's going to be a lot to get over, but we have to do it. And the people who can't get over it, it's like I'm sure they're all doing the best they can, but it's a game, and everybody has their time when they're like, oh no, I can't do more than this. I feel certain there's going to be a lot of people when the healing starts that are going to give up, because it is very, very challenging. And there will be a lot of people who will commit suicide during this period of time of pain and trauma and anger and all of that. And especially when people start realizing what life really is, and that you don't really die, and they have family members that crossed over, there'll be people who will just to go be with their people, probably. Like, there'll be all sorts of reasons. And it's going to seem sad and traumatic for a lot of us to see so many people going through so much loss and so many people dying and stuff. And it's going to be sad, but it's all part of what humanity as a whole has to go through to create change. So anyways, I don't even know if I've said anything that is helpful. I feel so scattered because I keep feeling like there's all these different things that I see that I want to talk about, but it's weird. Is even the one that I did earlier, some of the stuff I said, then I will go and sit and crochet, and then my fingers will get tired, so I'll go on look at TikToks or something. And it was weird because all these people were saying the exact same things that I was saying this morning. It was like, that is when you start seeing, like, we are all synced up. We are all, like, as we raise our vibration, we're getting into this, like, place where we're all exchanging thought and exchanging, perspective and stuff. So anyways, it's very interesting. One of the ones was a woman who was just saying, though, the same thing of these people who wake up and, suddenly think they're spiritual, and suddenly now they're, gurus. They're out charging people $1,000 to guide them, and all of these extreme amounts of money, acting like they're better than people, and suddenly realizing they're psychic, and now they're going to charge people and stuff like that, and acting like that they are better than other people. When I said, and she was saying the same thing, we all have the same things. Everybody's got to develop their own, and you don't go through somebody else. You got to go through yourself. So everything. And that is all stuff that just people have to learn through this. But it was just weird because I had just talked about that. And then I went on and saw her saying that. Like, I keep having that happen too. Just so many synchronicities happening all the time. And but you can just see, if you're just paying attention, just the stuff with Joe, just the foolishness of how he's looking, how much they just keep showing it. It's on the news, it's on everything, it's like nonstop. And that is just building and building. And so I really, and how much with the hunter and stuff, like, is coming out. Like, they're about, I think they're going to be charged or something. Like, they're going to be charged with some crimes. There are some investigations going. But, you know, I mean, all of this is the show, because it's already all been done. And now it's just us to see it, because, you know, we have to see it play out so that we can comprehend it and start with the healing. Because, you know, if they just came on and just told us, we would think we were being manipulated. Just like, oh, that's what I was going to say earlier. Just like when I was saying and talking to my higher self and stuff all the time. Sometimes it really seriously feels like maybe I'm just MK Ultra. Maybe I'm just MK Ultra, and there's just somebody been talking in my head my whole entire life and telling me, go do this, go do that. No, I know it really is about spiritual stuff, because it has all been to benefit me and help me and elevate me and make me more connected to them and more trusting of them. And so it's just weird when all of that stuff is coming out with mind control and how they can just go into your brain and start talking and people don't even know. And I don't know. There's just lots of weird stuff. But, you know, that is where you have to really learn to trust yourself and have discernment. And I'm just got to base mine on the fact that I've been listening to these people or beings or whatever speaking since I was a kid. So, you know, but I mean, I guess the CIA could have started all the way back there and get that girl. We're gonna mind control her from the very beginning, her whole life. So I don't know. I'll just be glad when I get to see my truth. I think a lot of people are going to be dreading when they have to see their truth, but I'm anxious to see it. And however it turns out, I'm ready to heal it, take it on, move on past it. I'm ready for the new beginning. I'm ready to start over. And it's just, it's just a lot of stuff we still got to get through with people. And just like sitting here having to listen to all this banging when I know on a level that it's happening to push these people into reacting. And, but if I didn't know that, I would probably even be more angry. Like, how in the world do these people get to just make this noise? But for me to realize and be mindful about, well, this is awakening and this has got to go on, because, people have got to get woke up. They got to start questioning their reality and questioning their lives and setting priorities for themselves. It's the only way to make change. So nothing was going to change the way we were going. We all just were, dutiful, compliant to oppressive system for our whole lives. So it has to change and it has to be dramatic. So anyways, I'll post this one tomorrow, and who knows, I swear, you just every single day, it's like, is today the day? Is today the day? So anyways, if anything really crazy goes down and there is power, I will still try and go live or something. Like, I wish something, like, I wish some aliens would come land in my streets. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.